right, let's get you ready for a quick. All right, let's get you ready. Game week 7 starts tonight, couple hours. Let's run down a couple of guys who could probably help you out tonight. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about these guys, but Derrick Rose is still hurt. Could be back any day. $1.85 might be worth a stash. Sebron's time's probably running out. 205, still cheap. Could get you something, but I wouldn't count on it. Kevin Knox, that's a flash in the pan. He's not this good. His L10's still too high at 24. JRE, he's cheap. He's only 266. If you want a punt play this week, I mean, he's had a couple games where he's gotten minutes. I think New Orleans gets healthy, though, and he doesn't see much more time. Drew Smith for Miami. Looks like the minutes are pretty safe here with Hero out. Lowry missed last game. He should be coming back, but Drew Smith's minutes aren't completely reliant on Lowry. I think he's going to get between 20 and 25, which means he'll score you somewhere in the high teens probably. If he has a good game, high 20s. L10 of 11, he's worth a look. Jeff Green would be worth a look this week, except he doesn't play at all. The Rockets don't have any games the next 4 nights, so he might be a stash play. He's played over 20 the last 2 games. He's only a 9 L10, and obviously that's not going to change. So I think he's worth a look. Alex Len has taken over JaVale McGee's minutes in Sacramento. Not a lot to report here. He's still beating his L10 slightly. He's still cheap. If you want a flyer, he did have a 28 one of his games recently, so he's only 7. He might be worth a try. Dwight Powell, regular minutes, still nothing to write home about. He could be in the low 20s. Kleber's been out. He's a rotation regular regardless. I would say he's a decent pickup at $3.25. Conchar, I don't know if you can count on the minutes right now. He's kind of in for 25, and then he plays 6 minutes. Inconsistent. A 12. Keep an eye on him. Always cheap. He's a guy who could get minutes down the road for sure. Haywood Highsmith, we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't keep playing him. He scored over 30 in each of the last 2 game weeks. Caleb Martin's still out. He's still only an 11. He's all the way up to 738. So, I mean, I bought a couple of him in that $3 to $4 range. If you want to pay up, I mean, he could go up some more. Luke Cornett looks like he's actually getting fairly regular minutes. He will have some decent games. He had a 22. His L10 is a 7. He's only $3, so might be worth a look in Boston. Lonnie Walker's minutes seem to be going down. Claxton's back. They've been less in each of the last 3 games. I think we may have hit our usage meter with Lonnie Walker. He's up to a 20 L10. Don't know if you can count on more than that. I would stay away from him. Biyombo, starting for Memphis, getting huge minutes, 30 plus the last 3 games. He's only a 14 L10, but a little bit more expensive. This isn't as much of a value play because he's $12.77 as of this morning. Dean Wade, I mean, if you want to take a shot at him, he's 11. He's just really cheap. It's $2. If you need a last second filler and an 11 works, only because he's cheap, I wrote. So that's kind of how I feel about him. Sam Hauser, we've been talking about him. He's filling a role. Still fairly cheap. Still outperforming. Chris Boucher in the rotation for right now. He's averaging 14 so rare points. He can get you in the 20s. He's got 2 good matchups against Washington and Milwaukee this week. So at 246, I'm looking at him. Nick Batum's getting a lot of time in Philadelphia. Now Kelly Oubre got hit by a car. I mean, you can't even make this up. Probably makes his minutes a little more safe even than they already were. He's averaging 26 since the trade. 20 points, L10 of 14, so not a lot of upsides, but with Oubre out, he's playing big minutes. Dyson Daniels, probably the L10's catching up here. 17, averaging 21. I mean, he's still playing with McCollum out, but they have a couple guys coming back. Herb Jones should be back. I think his usefulness is fading here. Peyton Pritchard has a regular role for the Celtics. Somehow his L10 is still an 8. He's in the rotation. Worth a shot. I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't try that, but $8.80 is still a little more expensive than we like. Keon Ellis, I had people asking me about last week. Obviously, with Fox out, he's the one that's benefited the most. I thought it was going to be Davion Mitchell, but it's been Keon Ellis. Minutes per are still low, but the last couple of games, I mean, he's been the guy. He's been over 30 once, and I think he was in the 20s the other time. He didn't shoot it well, and he still outscored his 6. So I think if he shoots it well, you're looking at 20s for sure for him, maybe a 30, and he's a low L10. Joe Harris is hurt, just super cheap. If he ever gets back in there and starts playing, that might be worth a look. Joe Ingles got regular rotation minutes. He's had a max score of 27 this year, still 349, L10 of 10. And then you've got Landry Shamet. He's definitely in the rotation. We talked about him last week. Getting 16 minutes, putting up some points. Max of 28 so far, so that's his high. 350. Yeah, that's worth a look. Still don't like Derek Jones Jr. and Kevin Love. I don't know what's going on with him. He might be in the rotation again, but it's hard to say with the Heat what the deal is. Well, anyway, hopefully some of that helps you. Hope you have a great week. We'll be back for week 8.